So how can and should brands leverage user signals to become more relevant and organic on the mobile platform? And can you talk a little bit about the Bank of America mobile and cross-screen strategy in relation to that?
Yeah, I think this issue of relevance and resonance is sort of the key right now, as all of us are at an inflection point with how we go to market, right? There's this sort of perfect storm of the meteoric rise of mobile as the preferred communications platform for consumers. There's this onset of massive amounts of signal, and then there is this idea of the consumer as publisher, all of which is leading to a lot more content being out there. And so for us, you really need to understand first and foremost, are we talking about sort of this mass marketing approach that advertising used to be on, which is to disrupt a thought, to come up with lowest common denominator messaging and put it everywhere? And obviously I lean against that, but so often those are the rails that we as marketers end up on, right? Let's take the ad from digital and put it in mobile, as Anna was talking about in her opening remarks, versus are we now in what is a de facto one-to-one relationship with consumers, or at least that's their expectation, and how are we effectively delivering a CRM-like experience to individuals? And this is the real challenge. So first you've got to understand what signals matter. Then you've got to paint a picture. We like to say that we design for audiences and we deliver to individuals. And so you have to have these segments or audiences in your brain and say, okay, what's relevant and resonant to that group in general? And then marry that to signals you'll get in an increasingly one-to-one environment. Now this comes from context, and I'm talking about page level context, location or movement data. All of these things are evolving in real time, and you have to have sort of the science of the data, but also the art of marketing in the stack. And so we connect human experience professionals through our agency at Starcom to the signals that we get, and we're now actively looking for those moments of receptivity for the messages that we have in inventory. Biggest challenge is the sufficient number of messages that we have in inventory that are designed as solutions for those individual moments of receptivity. And I think that's the biggest pivot. How do we reorient everything as a solution based on a signal, ready to go, that we can decision in ultimately a 40 millisecond window as this is the use case for that asset which provides this solution to a consumer in this need state. That's the calculus we have to work on now, and it's a very different calculus than I would say most of us were dealing with 5 years ago.